Yo, 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 what's up? Welcome to another episode of Unnamed Sports Show right here on Gorilla Cross. I'm your host, Quan59. It's been a long time, but we are back. Got Frank back in the building with me. How you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Doing good, doing good.
All right.
Yeah, I like your hat.
Thanks, man.
You're welcome. Does my mic sound weird still?
No, you
No.
sound
It
really...
sounds a little too, I don't know if it's just my headphones. It just sounds very, like a lot of highs and not a lot of lows.
It's just like life for you.
Yeah, a lot of highs and no lows.
Yeah, baby.
And we have back in the building the power slapper herself. I don't think we've done a show since she slapped somebody in the face, but
I don't
Michael
think so.
Michelle is back in the building.
Hi.
We need to play one of those clips. That's one of the things I
Yeah.
forgot to talk about is playing one of your clips from the power slap. So you were in power slap. Your very first one. The women's division kind of just started.
Yep.
Talk to us about that whole experience being in power slap. What even made you want to do that?
So I've been trying to get into working for the UFC, in other ways. And then as I was researching it, a lot of power slap just kept coming up. And it was like, it's a brand new sport, fastest growing sport right now, and all these things. So I reached out to them and I was like, I'm interested in this. Can I have some more information? And then they reached back out and was like, actually, we're interested in you slapping. We're trying to build this women's division. You're a female in Vegas. That's exactly what we need. And yeah, it wasn't much that you would think. And then 2 months later, I was on the stage getting slapped. So.
Wow. So how'd that go for you? And will you do it again? Was it entertaining for you? Did it hurt too much?
So it was great, the whole experience. I will say it was a little weird because we were in the Fontainebleau, but my opponent and I haven't done it before, so we didn't have a live audience. So we were in this big arena with all the bright lights, and nobody was watching us. So it was dead quiet. But I could, picture all the people there. So it was exciting. I would say I don't even remember the first half of it. It went by so fast. I feel like I just walked out, got on stage, and I was walking back out. But it worked out. I won. And I was the biggest underdog of the night because my opponent was a UFC fighter with a lot of fights.
So she had fought in the UFC before. So she
Yeah.
was already, in, combat sports. And you've had one amateur fight or two
Yeah.
amateur fights? Just one amateur
Yeah.
fight. So that's a big win to beat somebody that has a name in the UFC
Yeah.
already. And I know they're trying
Even
to push
when-
the women's division, so they were trying to push her maybe a little bit
Yeah.
heavier than
Even
some of the other
before
ones.
they were interviewing her, and I got very little. And when they posted on Power Slap, they were like, it was a picture of me and her, and then they just mentioned her and was like, oh, she's making her debut. And I was like, what about me? So I had to get up on stage and show them.
And you showed them.
Yeah, that's right. Do you think that it was as far as the preparation goes, because you said it was her first fight, first pro slap competition as well. Do you think some things you take from it, like preparing for the next time?
Yeah, so I definitely prepared completely wrong, and I didn't
okay.
know until I got there. And I was talking to the other power slappers that have done it before. Basically, my idea of it was I was gonna throw almost like a hook, just like a short hook, really tense and all these things. And when I showed them, they're like, that's good, but actually you need to do everything opposite. You need to be relaxed. Your arm needs to be not tense. And so I think that got in my head a little bit, because then when I was on the stage, I was, I had what I did for 2 months preparing for it.
Right.
But in the back of my head, it's all the advice they gave me, which, is the correct advice because they know what they're talking about. So that got to me a little, because I know I had confidence in myself, but in the slap itself, I was second guessing, and the wrong time to be second guessing is in the while you're doing it.
Right.
So, but for my next one, now I know exactly how I want my form to be.
Yeah.
I know how to practice for it. So,
It'd be a little more
So it'll
comfortable.
be a little bit different.
absolutely.
Yeah. But I think
that's
that's
cool.
anything the first time you go to a new job, right? You're nervous the first time, you don't really know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And then by week 1 and 2, you feel a lot better, doing it. So
Yeah.
And even taking a slap too, because preparing for it, I can't just have someone slap me as hard as they can.
Yeah.
Right.
So I was also thinking, man, I don't want to get slapped. And those videos, when they get knocked out, 100 million people see it. So
Now, how do you prepare for the power slap? Like, because you have to get slapped a little bit, right? To
Yeah.
kind of get your face prepared to get slapped.
Yeah, so I just one of the guys that does like the jiu-jitsu coach at Syndicate was helping me a little bit, and then he felt bad. He's like, I don't even want to slap you, and I was like, no, it's okay. And then I was looking at a lot of videos and just kind of like research on scientifically what the best way to get slapped is. So
there's a way to get slapped.
there is from everything I've gathered and all the other
All you Ike
slappers,
Turners, listen up.
you just you're not supposed to tuck your chin, but like as much as you can get away with before the ref tells you not to. And then
So you need to you're supposed to keep your face straight.
yes, and
So
then
if you tuck too much, they're gonna penalize you, take a point.
yes, and then keep your eyes open. I think at the last second I closed my eyes, but I thought my eyeballs were gonna pop out of my head if I didn't. So
Right.
and then you breathe out really brisk, like on the slap. So
All right, we're gonna play some of your slaps. I'm gonna have the volume off because I don't know. I don't want them to kick us off. So this is your first time getting slapped
yes,
ever. All right. So you're cooking
yeah,
or you're eating?
I'm eating.
You're eating, not cooking. All right. I'm gonna hold on.
Like
though.
Zeke.
I'm gonna listen. All right, so we'll see the replay.
I was
Ooh.
surprised because I didn't see any of the videos until a while after I did it. How I didn't flinch, because I wasn't sure, because obviously I didn't want to flinch and I practiced not flinching, but in the moment I was
Right.
like, man, I want to see the video because I want to know, did I flinch?
All right, now we're gonna play your first slap. And you're intense. I mean, you are focused for sure. Now, I noticed this time, I didn't notice the first time around, where she kind of moved before she even got hit. Is that
Yeah.
allowed, or is that something like...
That's something that goes on the scorecard.
Okay.
And if you flinch too bad, then you get another hit. So
Okay.
Okay. Because there's like a hesitation
Yeah.
type of thing for
Because she flinched, so you're kind of moving back, so you're not really getting the full power of
Yeah.
the hit because she's already moving back a little bit. All right. Wow. So let's see. Then you get slapped again. It's 3 rounds, right?
yeah.
I think I'm going.
with a lot of these, when you're setting up for these in between, are you, like you said, when you went out there first, you said it felt like a blur, like you'd forgotten, like when it first started. Like, were you not like locked in until you actually got hit?
Yeah. I would say I wasn't in my body, and then when I got hit, I was like, all right,
Like,
I'm
okay,
here.
here we are.
Yeah.
Okay.
It almost felt like a dream until I got hit, and then I'm like, all right, I'm
So
in
that
my
second
body.
slap right there, do you feel like that was your best one?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that looked like the best one. And then the third one, you guys can watch the full video. We'll post that in the description, but you can watch the full video. But you end up winning. So
I did.
how'd that
There
feel,
you go.
winning and you beat a UFC fighter in power slap?
It felt so good, especially because, like being the underdog, it felt extra good. And, especially a lot of people had a lot to say about power slap leading up to this. So it felt good not to get knocked out because I had a lot of people tell me I'm going to get knocked out.
Oh,
so
man.
How mean.
Yeah, it felt good to prove them wrong.
Yeah.
And it was so fun. Like the experience itself, they treat you like, I guess you are an athlete, but they treat you the way the UFC athletes are being treated because you go like sign in together. So there's like the guys, they always do it the night before a UFC event. So you had the guys that were on that card and then us, signing autographs at the same time, doing our media at the same time, just like on opposite sides of the room. So it was really cool to see that. And then the next night at the UFC event, I ended up going, and 2 different people asked me to take a picture, and I was like, me.
Oh, that's cool.
That's neat.
So it was super cool.
That's really cool.
Very cool.
Look at, man, we got a superstar in the
felt
building,
so
Frank.
cool.
That's awesome.
Got a superstar in the building. Chris Wynn asked, do you wear any kind of face padding in preparation or practice for a live event?
No, I just wore like the mouth guard so I can practice biting down on the mouth guard. And then, the most of the slaps I took in preparation were not hard, and they were just mainly to get me used to knowing it's coming.
Yeah. Wow.
But yeah, no face.
Frank,
no face
would you
gear.
do power slap?
No,
No?
no,
Not at all?
no. But
If there's anyone you could power slap without getting slapped back, who would you want to slap?
I don't have anybody.
You don't have anybody. Think a little.
I don't have a list of
We can come
power
back to the end of the
slappies.
show. We can come back.
I'll be thinking about it.
Think about that
okay.
question. We'll
Yes,
come back
sir.
at the end of the show and answer that. Anybody in the comments, let us know who you would want to slap, celebrity, friend, enemy, co-worker. Let us know in the comments who you would want to power slap. And you wouldn't have to get slapped back. That's the whole, we're making a new game. It's solo power slap. You
You're
get
the
to slap,
slapper.
but no slappy.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Sounds good, right?
Yeah.
All right. Moving on to other sports. Let's stick with UFC a little bit. We do have a fight night this weekend, this Saturday in Saudi Arabia. Where's it at? Riyadh. Yeah. Saudi Arabia.
Riyadh, yeah.
Riyadh.
Mm-hmm.
Israel Adesanya is headlining a fight night. He hasn't been on a fight night in I don't know how long, like since he started in the UFC pretty much. He had a couple fight nights, and then he's been on the main card for a long time after that against Nazardine Imanov.
Okay.
I got it.
Nailed it. I think it's
How do you pronounce
I think it's Imavov.
Imavov. See, you copied Frank. She's like, a lot of these fighters' names are a little bit difficult to process, I will say. But he's headlining. It's actually a really good fight night. This looks like it could be a pay-per-view card. I was talking to you guys earlier about the fact that this looks like it's better than UFC 312, which is next week
in Australia. But the start time is
gonna
normal.
Be regular start time. So in Australia, they're going to be
It's like
tired.
2:00 Sunday.
Sunday morning or afternoon?
Sunday afternoon. It'll be on because they have like a 15-hour, 17-hour time difference.
Yeah.
So it'll be on our time normal. Be on the next day.
It'll be
Australia.
a different day in Australia.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's go over some of these fights in the main card real quick. We have Adesanya versus Nazardine Imavov.
Yeah.
Yep. We got Michael Page and Sharamagomedov, Sergey Pavlovich versus Jairzinho Rozenstruik, Said Nurmagomedov versus Vinces Oliveira, and Mike Davis versus
Faris Zayem.
Faris.
Zayem. He's French. The Smile Killer. That's his nickname.
The Smile Killer. I really don't recall either of these guys in the lightweight bout, but we're just gonna do some picks to see if we're right, and we'll let you know next week who was right and who was wrong. I most likely will be right,
I'm sure.
these guys in here will be wrong. All right, Frank, who do you got in this first fight?
I'm taking because I just like the nickname. I'm gonna go with the Smile Killer, Zayem. He has been fighting off and he's a kickboxing background. He's been fighting the UFC off and on, I think, since 2019. So I'm picking him.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pick him too for the same reason. Like he has a cool nickname. So yeah, let's go with that. Michael Michelle, what do you got?
He's the only American on the card, Mike Davis. I gotta go with Mike Davis.
Yeah.
That's fair.
It is. All right.
And I can say his name very well.
Yeah, it's easier to say his name. All right, next fight. Said Nurmagomedov versus Oliveira.
Do you want me to go first?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna go Said, just because anybody who has the Nurmagomedov name is scaring me, so I'll just take that. I like that. Plus his name.
One of them just lost though.
And it was probably him.
Well, no, the cousin.
Well, the cousin did. Yeah.
Lost to Merab.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Said. So hopefully his nickname is That's What I Said.
That's what I Said.
It's not though.
I'm also going with Said Nurmagomedov.
Yeah, Wouldn't go to
Same.
Nurmagomedov.
It's hard to go against them.
Yeah.
I did pick against him in UFC 311. My picks were pretty good in 311. How were yours? It was funny
good.
because we watched the fights in here, and we had 2 fights because you trained with Marab. And obviously, like, I work with Jamal doing all his content and everything. And when Jamal lost, the studio, we had more people in here than probably any other watch party. It was so quiet in here.
It was
Really?
When
dead
Jamal
quiet.
lost, everybody's like, ugh. And not even for
It was a good
Jamal. It was
fight,
more for me.
yeah.
Like, they didn't, it was like, we don't want to say anything. But it was a good fight. I rewatched it. That whole card was really good. That was a good card. But I did pretty good on my picks besides
Yeah,
Jamal, and I think
that
I
was
lost
my-
one other one in the main card.
The card was pretty good though. Yeah, I was flying back.
Yeah, the
home
card as a
when-
whole was really good. It was definitely fun to watch. And even here for the fight party, like, we had a lot of people. It was
That's
we
awesome.
had some different
Yeah.
people, so it was fun. Michael Michelle came to her first fight party.
Hey, all right.
And in between the co-main and the main, we watched her power slap fight.
There you go.
We showed everybody.
Nice.
Yeah. Everyone's like, who is that? I'm like, oh, she's a power slapper.
You're like, well, watch this.
Yeah.
And I think I had asked if anybody wanted to, get slapped.
They're like,
Nobody
nah.
would do
They're
it.
nah.
Yeah.
Like, nah, fam.
Nah, fam. All right, next fight, Sergey Pavlovich versus Jarzino Rosenstrike. This is a good heavyweight bout. Heavyweights are always fun to watch because they are slamming each other in the face pretty hard. I like Rosenstrike a lot. I like Pavlovich a lot. Both these fighters are really good. Number 4 versus number 9. Rosenstrike is a little streaky. He's up and down, but Pavlovich, I feel like, man, this is going to be good. This is going to be good. I'm going to go with Rosenstrike, even though I feel like Pavlovich is probably going to win. But there's something telling me to take Rosenstrike. So don't bet on any of these that I'm telling you, folks, because my mind is not made up. And I got so much stuff wrong when we talk about NFL. I will let you know everything I got wrong during the whole
I'm going
playoffs.
with Pavlovich too.
Pavlovich?
No, or against you, yeah, Pavlovich.
I think that he's gonna get Rosenstrikey. I'm gonna go with Rosenstrike
Rosenstrike.
for the win. Like you said, it's kind of up and down. The heavyweight fights are hilarious. It's just like these guys are tattooing each other.
Because you don't know what could happen. It could
You
be
don't.
a knockout in the first 2 minutes of the first round. And I mean, we saw when Rosenstrike fought Francis Ngannou, and he was coming off a win against, I think that was right after his win against Overeem, where he, at the last minute, was losing the fight, busted Overeem in the lip. That's when Overeem's lip just like split in two. And then Rosenstrike came back, like, man, he's looking good. He gets to fight Francis Ngannou, and that fight lasted maybe 15 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he got knocked out cold. I mean, so that's how the heavyweight division is. You just don't know what's going to happen with all that. So those are fun, entertaining fights to watch. And this is going to be no different, I think. I do think we see a knockout from one of these guys in the first or second round.
Yeah.
I don't think it goes 3. All right. Big fight right here. Michael Venom Page against Shara Magomedov. He's a crazy looking dude. Like, he has that eye that just is like, looks like it's missing. He looks very crazy. He looks like he kills people while he's not fighting or training in the UFC. Like he's like one of those hitmen you would see on John Wick or something like that. And then Michael Venom Page came from Bellator. His first fight pretty much destroyed Kevin Holland. I mean, he dominated that fight against Kevin Holland. He was way too quick for Holland. I thought that was going to be a much better fight. I thought they were very equally matched, and he showed that they weren't. I'm going with Venom Page in this one. I think it's going to be a really fun fight to watch as well. Who you got, Frank?
I wonder. I think about like what if scenarios, like if Michael Venom Page would have been in the UFC 10 years ago, because he's 37 years old.
Yeah.
And he has had some high highs and low lows when he's been in the UFC. I mean, he's been up. He's only had, this is his 3rd fight in the UFC, and I don't know. It's like all about what could have been, and his opponent's undefeated. but I think that's the experience. Michael Venom Page has fought internationally a lot. He's an English fighter. Lots of his fights he's fought in Dublin. He's fought all over the world. I think the experience will pay off. I think that he'll win ultimately.
All right.
I'm gonna go with Shara.
All right. Why?
I feel like the only reason why he doesn't have as much experience is because he can only fight out of the country because of his eye. So that's gonna have him extra motivated. And yeah, I think he's a great fighter. I think just the problem is he just can't fight much because he has to fight over there.
Yeah.
15-0.
Yeah. Man, I mean that's a big fight for both of them. I think this is this probably might be his toughest competition. Against Michael Page, who is a very good fighter, like you said, been around for a long time. So yeah, I'm very interested to see this fight. That's the co-main, and then Israel Adesanya versus Nasruddin Imavov. Did I say it right? I'm gonna ask every time. I should have looked. Like I usually will listen to their name a couple times first, practice, but I didn't. But this fight right here for Izzy is very, it's a necessary win for him. Mm-hmm. I mean, like I said, he's fighting a fight night. We don't see that a lot. So he's lost 2 in a row, which this is the first time he hasn't fought for a title, in a very long time. Even when he moved up to light heavyweight, he was fighting for the title. So this is a different stage in his career for him where he needs to get this win. He can't lose to somebody at this level, number 5. Mm-hmm. If he loses this, you start talking about like, what do you do? What's your career look like now? Do you think about retirement after this? Do you just take fights that are fun for money after this? Like, we've seen fighters do that where it's like, okay, I did everything I needed to do in my career as far as achievements and accomplishments. Now let me just take money fights. Mm-hmm. But if he wins, then he's right back on track to, if Sean Strickland beats Duplessis next month, we might see a Adesanya Sean Strickland rematch.
It's possible.
I mean, they're fighting back-to-back weeks, so it would line up as far as them being able to fight again in 3 or 4 months.
I think he'd need one more win.
Maybe one more win.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe one more win.
But I do think he gets the win
But at the
tonight,
same time, with his name,
or tomorrow night.
they might jump him up all the way. Because he's number 2. So is Duplessis and then Strickland's number 1, right?
Yeah.
And then who's number 3 in that division? You got that, Frank? But I think if he wins this and then Strickland wins, I don't think he gets the rematch against Duplessis, but it really depends, because if Strickland wins, then you might do Duplessis Strickland 3, right? Because then it'd be 1-1 with them.
It's Hamzat. Adesanya's 4 and Hamzat's 3.
Adesanya's 4? It shows him as 2 on this.
I'm on ESPN.
I'm on UFC. Let me check the rankings. They might have just got it wrong on the fight card.
Well, they have Imavov is like 6th. Is it 5th or 6th? I think.
Yeah, Imavov is 5th. So I'm on UFC website. So it's Duplessis is the champion. We have Sean Strickland number 1, Izzy number 2, Hamzat Chimaev is number 3. So I think
he gets the next
Chimaev gets the next, whoever wins this fight. Mm-hmm. I think you see Chimaev get that.
Could he switch weight classes if he doesn't win this fight, you think? Or
where does he switch to though? Does he go down to? I'm not sure if he goes down. He doesn't go to light heavyweight.
There's guys in that next grouping though that he could kind of like Mikey's saying, is that if he wins the fight, do they make him fight again someone else before they give him a title shot? Or
he's not fighting Robert Whittaker, who's number 4. They've already fought too many times, and now they're homies training together.
That Kyle Barallo guy.
Kyle Barallo could be a good one.
Maybe
that could be a really good one. But being number 2, like in winning, being number 2, like how far down do you fight? Because if you fight Kyle Barallo at number 6 and lose,
maybe the next fight would be him and Hamzat, and then the winner of that for the belt.
Oh, maybe.
That could be, but just the fact that these are back to back.
That they're trying to set something up by having
Does
them
Shamaev
close.
have a fight
I don't know.
set up right now? I don't think he does. And he
I don't
just
think
dominated
he
his
does.
last fight. That's interesting, man. I mean, because Izzy has already dominated most of the people in that division. Everyone he's fought. Marvin Vettori's not fighting him. Jerry Cannonier, Brendan Allen. I mean, yeah, I don't know what he does.
Chimaev just fought at the end of October, so he would be medically cleared to fight any time.
Yeah, he'd be ready for that. But he definitely would get. He's definitely going to get be next in line for a title
shot.
fight.
Yeah, I think so too. I don't know. Did we all pick who we were? The thing was.
I don't think we picked that fight yet.
I picked Izzy.
I'm going with Izzy because
So am
he
I.
needs to win, and I want to see him win.
Yeah.
If he loses, I mean that's a whole different story. We're not even talking about like who he fights if he loses because they really could put him. I think it would
Probably
be Barallo.
Barallo.
If he loses.
Yeah.
It'd be Barallo, which would honestly be a really good fight.
It would be.
That'd be a really good fight to see. And then if Barallo beats Izzy, I mean, because he's definitely on the up and up right now. So nerd gang right there. Yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm excited for this fight night. Fight morning. It's going to be fight morning here in Vegas because
Fight breakfast at 9 a.m.
what time is it in Abu Dhabi? Is it and what day is it? I don't know.
So-
I don't know their time.
I think it's the same.
It's the normal. It's the regular time in
so
Saudi,
it's 7
but
o'clock
then here
at night there.
Yeah.
And it's 9 o'clock in the morning here. So you got to get up early to watch the main card. If you want to watch the prelims, which there are some good prelim fights, you're going to have to get up at like 6 or 7. So hit that TiVo.
Yeah.
Hit that TiVo. Get the DVR and record that, or you can just watch replay on ESPN.
Is it ESPN? Yeah.
Yeah, ESPN Plus.
Oh, there you go.
So you can just watch replay. I'm most likely I'll definitely be up for the main card.
There you go.
I'll probably be up for some of the prelims. So, anyways, if you guys are tuned in the chat, let us know. We're live. We haven't been consistent at all, and that's my fault. And that's Michael Michelle's fault. And that's Frank's fault.
my fault.
No, it's just life's.
Yeah.
So we're trying to be more consistent with everything we do here. Frank's Into the West Comics show is coming back next week. Are you excited about that?
Next week, new time, 7 p.m. We're switching. We're going a little later.
Yay.
Make sure everybody gets here on time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going 7 o'clock on Thursdays starting next week. We're excited to get back after it. It feels like it's been a long time.
I mean,
Same
you guys
guys.
took what, 3 months off?
3 months.
Yeah.
Same guys.
Same guys.
Do you know anything about comics and
We
movies?
didn't
Comic
fire
book
any of them.
movies?
No,
Oh,
I don't.
you can't be on.
You'd probably be better off.
You can do like a Power Slam anime though, right?
Sure, you can
Yeah.
do that.
I would get too into it. Like I don't start shows that are too good because then I'm gonna, watch it for 3 weeks straight and not do anything else.
What's your show right now? Like, what are you watching?
I just started Sex in the City. It's kind of old,
Okay.
but it's one of those where you can get really into it. But like Game of
That's
Thrones,
one of my sister's favorite shows.
Sex
and
and
I
the
think
City?
she's watched that and Friends like over and
I've
over
seen
again.
Friends
all
a
the
lot.
time.
Sure.
Yeah. I haven't seen any Friends. I don't have any. I'm joking. You said what? What was the other one?
when I watched Game of Thrones,
Game
when
of
I
Thrones.
started it like years late. Oh my gosh, I didn't leave the house for like 3 weeks.
Wow.
She's locked in.
Yeah, locked in.
I watched the first, I think 3 or 4 episodes of Game of Thrones season 1, and it was just too much for me.
Because I like
I didn't wanna see
fantasy stuff. So, and I know like comics like that.
Well, speaking of
stuff.
fantasy, I saw too much of Jason Momoa. I didn't want to. Yeah, I saw more of him than I wanted to see. So I just couldn't do it anymore. And then I was gonna try to catch up for the final season, and then once the final season started, and everyone's like, "It's not really ending that well," I lost total interest because if it's a dope show and it ends bad, it's just I don't like it.
I see. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. All right, moving on. Let's talk about this, Frank.
Let's. What are we talking about?
Football.
Oh yeah, baby.
Oh man. Last Sunday made me hate sports, and I'll tell you why. Because I got both my games wrong.
Yeah.
The first game was a total blowout and very annoying. Philly destroyed Washington Commanders, and they scored 55 points in the championship game. And I was saying you could put any other team, you could put the worst team in the NFC in that game, and they wouldn't have given up 55 points.
No.
So to me, that was, like, why beat the Lions if you're going to come into the NFC Championship game and lay an egg like that? But Jaden Daniels looked really good in that game still. most of the mistakes made, it was fumbles and stuff like that. So it changes momentum. But we get a repeat of the Super Bowl from 2 years ago.
Yep.
Philadelphia Eagles and Kansas City Chiefs. I don't want to talk too much about my theory of the Chiefs and the refs being on the same team because it's true. Shout out to my boy Brian Parker, who's a diehard Chiefs fan. He was trying to defend them all weekend. But I hate the calls. I hate it. I told my boy who's an Eagles fan, shout out Simply T, Eagles have to be up by 17 or more going into the fourth quarter. If they're only up by 10, they lost the game. So going into the Super Bowl. So what were your guys' picks for last Sunday? And, because I was 0 for 2 on Sunday.
I was 0 for 2 too, as well. Yeah.
Did you watch them? Yeah.
Yeah, I was 1-1.
So you picked the Chiefs?
No, I had the Bills.
Oh, you had the Bills?
Yeah, I had the Bills.
Oh,
and
so you had
I had the Bills and the Eagles. Yeah. So, yeah, it didn't work out.
Yeah, that was frustrating. I wanted to see a repeat of Super Bowl. What was it? Bills and Redskins.
Yeah.
That's like 93
It was a
or
long time ago.
91,
That was their
something like
second, I believe their second Super Bowl they lost. Or was that their first?
The first one they lost was to the Giants.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, the kick.
And they lost to Washington, and then they lost to the Cowboys 2 years in a
twice.
row.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that would have been nice to see. But at the same time, like for the rookie quarterback, Jaden Daniels, who was the second pick, everybody was so hyped on Caleb Williams. We've said on this show last year that I thought Jaden Daniels was going to be better than Caleb Williams. I think he proved that. And we'll see with the longevity of their careers how that pans out. But, I was all for Bears, like trading that pick, even keeping Justin Fields and doing more. But they decided to take Caleb Williams, and Jaden Daniels looked amazing this whole season and got his team to the NFC Championship, which is very hard to do. We kind of saw Joe Burrow do that too in his early years, and they haven't got back there since. So it's you're not guaranteed to get back to that position.
No,
just because you did.
Yeah.
Same thing. Dan Marino. We saw him get to the Super Bowl. They thought he would get to a whole bunch more, and he never got back. So what are you looking forward to next week? And we'll talk more about this next week and get a little more in depth on breaking down the game. But it's a repeat of 2 years ago. Chiefs won. Surprise. They're going for a three-peat. Sorry, Pat Riley. Take all my money. Going for the three-peat. Do they get it? Can the Eagles pull this off? I personally think Eagles are a far better team than the Chiefs, but I've thought a lot of teams are better than the Chiefs this year, and Chiefs just keep winning, and the refs. But like I said, my take, if you have to be up by 17 or more going into the fourth, or the game's over. If it's 15, 10, even 2 scores. Like, I don't trust a 2 touchdown lead against the Chiefs.
No.
With the way they play and with the way the refs ref. Michael Michelle, what do you think about this?
I think the Eagles are gonna win. I want them to win as well as I think they're gonna win. Yeah, I think I'm sad that Kelsey's not on the team anymore to beat his brother.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree though that they have to be up by the half, because every time we think Kansas City's gonna lose, they come back. Them and the refs make a good call, And
what do you think Jason Kelsey's thinking? Like, man, I should have played one more year because they're
play my brother again.
Back. Yeah, that would have been a good, try to get him back and stuff like that. But so who you going for? Who do you think is going to win?
Eagles.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the third straight Super Bowl where the spread is only 1.5 points. It is the first time that the Chiefs are favored by the 1.5. I was surprised to see the Chiefs favored, basically because the books will become kind of prisoner of the moment, and they'll sort of lean towards the team that looked the most dominant. The Eagles win by 30, the Chiefs win by 3 at home. I think that they would have favored the Chiefs. And I know we're going to get more into it next week. We'll talk a little bit more about it as we head into it. But the Chiefs just feel kind of like the villain in the movie that you've got to put away and you have to kill. You have to be sure they're dead, or they're just going to keep coming back. until I see it, I'm never going to pick against them. I can't pick against them, and I think that they're in a position to three-peat, which is very crazy to think. The way they played, like halfway through the season, I never would have thought they would have been in the position that they're in. But
2 years ago and even last year, like they didn't look good in the regular season.
They didn't
at all. This regular season, like their record was still really good, but there was a lot of games where they just didn't look like they were gonna win or maybe shouldn't have won and won at the last minute. I think Broncos missed a field goal for the Chiefs to win that game.
Yeah,
there was a pass interference against the Bengals, so there was a whole bunch of games where it's like, okay, they're getting
a lot of stuff
away with a lot. Is that going to happen in the playoffs?
And still winning close games.
Winning. Yeah, they're still winning close games.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing is that you win games. You won by 1 or you won by 12. You still won.
Yeah.
So they find ways to win. That's the thing that drives everybody crazy about the Chiefs. And I experienced it firsthand because my sister is a Chiefs fan. And she lives in Kansas City.
She's annoying.
I've been hearing from her all the time about it. So it's
because you're a Raiders fan.
Because I'm a Raider fan too.
Yeah.
So I get to hear about it like extra, you know. But yeah, until
you
put them away. Yeah, I mean, I'm never gonna bet against the Chiefs or pick against the Chiefs now because I just think it's just like it's set up for them to. I don't want to say set up, but it's everything looks like it's pointing that direction. However, you're Jalen Hurts, you lose twice in 3 years to the same team. Like you've been in the Super Bowl twice, and if you're in the position where you lose 2 times
to a light-skinned dude,
well, that's
you don't want to lose twice to a light-skinned dude.
Putting ketchup on everything. Pat Mahomes loves ketchup.
Wow, that's ketchup on eggs. Ketchup on eggs?
Oh no.
Ketchup on eggs?
No, hot sauce on eggs.
Hot sauce. Cholula on eggs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you eat eggs?
Yeah.
What kind? I mean, how are they cooked? Not what kind. Like they're probably.
It just depends on
bird.
the vibe.
Bird eggs.
I like them all ways. It just depends.
Ostrich eggs.
Like if it's alone, just scrambled, and then if it's on avocado toast over medium.
Wow, that was super bougie right there. What kind of avocado toast eggs do you like, Frank?
I like this. Yeah, it's just like a nice over easy.
Okay.
Yeah,
really nice.
It could be runny. It doesn't matter.
Runny?
I don't care.
It depends. I don't like the white being runny, but the yolk could be runny. But the white.
You don't like runny whites?
No, I don't like runny whites.
All right. Gotcha.
But I'm usually scrambled or omelet. But
nice.
Yeah.
Unnamed breakfast.
Yeah, unnamed breakfast show. Let us know in the comments your favorite way to make eggs and have eggs. And also let us know in the comments, who do you have in the Super Bowl next week? We have the opportunity, because it's in 2 weeks. It's not this weekend. It's next weekend to change our minds. Yeah. So we have a whole week. Next Thursday, we'll give our legit official picks.
You want this scores or whatever? Too?
Yeah, this week is our preseason picks.
Yeah.
Our pre-Super Bowl picks.
We're practicing.
Yeah.
We're practicing our picks right now. Let us know in the comments. Monica said she wants the Eagles to win.
Sure.
She didn't say she thinks the Eagles will win, though. There's a big difference there.
Yeah, I want to clarify something. I also want the Eagles to win.
Yeah.
I think we all want. I think the Chiefs will win.
I don't think anybody that's not a Chiefs fan wants to see the Chiefs win. Because I don't like the Eagles at all. That's one of my least favorite teams in the NFL because their fans are kind of psychotic.
Yeah.
But in this game, like, I would wear an Eagles jersey. That's how much I don't like the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Now,
we'll climb up a street light.
I'll give you like an insider thing there, Mikey.
Climbed up the street light and fell.
This guy texted me. He said, if it ends up being the Chiefs.
Don't say everything I said.
Oh, no, not all those. I won't say everything. When he said it was going to be Chiefs and Eagles, I'm not watching the Super Bowl.
Oh, I'm not.
But we're gonna watch. We might watch the game together. So you're gonna stare at the wall.
I told you, text me when Kendrick Lamar's halftime show starts.
You're gonna watch the commercials. Turn around for the commercials.
Turn around for the commercials. I'm not watching.
Watch Not Like Us 3 times.
Yeah.
On repeat.
Yeah, I'll watch the halftime show for sure. I'm excited about that.
There you go.
But the game itself, I mean, I was so mad on Sunday. Just not even mad, just irritated. I'm like, dude, like all the teams I didn't want to see in the Super Bowl. The 2 teams that go were the 2 teams I didn't want to see. Like any other combination of those 4 teams would have been fine. You know?
Yeah.
But anyway, so I'm going to see a team win that I don't like. And I hope it's the Eagles. I really hope it's the Eagles.
Same.
All right, let's move on to NBA real quick. Frank, I was talking to you, and I've been talking to a lot of my friends about the NBA. I'm not that interested this year in the NBA. Michael Michelle, do you even watch NBA? Are you into basketball at all?
I used to be so into it, but no, I have not watched it this year either.
It's and I still watch some games, but like I used to be when I would look at the Lakers schedule, I would know the schedule for the week. I'd have my days and everything mapped out to watch the games. I knew when they were coming on. Now, like I'll get a notification on my phone saying like game time or whatever, and I don't care to watch. And then even other games, like I'll have it on the TV because I have 4 TVs in here, so like I'll have games on the TV. But am I just getting old, Frank? Or is the game just like not that interesting? There's no real storylines. There's no rivalries. Everyone likes each other too much.
I'm like a players person, so even obviously the Raiders are my favorite team, but like there's certain players I love watching, so I'll end up watching 10 different football games and be into it because of the certain. But I don't feel like that with the NBA. I'm a Jason Tatum fan. Well, I'm a Celtics fan.
It's okay.
But
Disgusting.
even then, I'm like, it's hard. Yeah, it's hard to get into it. I don't really have any other players where I'm like, oh, I really want to watch them. So then I don't have too much interest in the game.
And I'm sure I'll be more into it once the playoffs hit.
Yeah, playoffs.
Sure.
But even the All-Star format, the All-Star game's been whack. And now they're changing the format up. And now Adam Silver's talking about like, would 10-minute quarters work? He's like a fan of that, which that's not going to happen. Don't even worry about that. Like nobody would go for that. There's too many records. Like, and then it'll be like you're doing that because you want to keep LeBron having all the records forever. If you're taking 2 minutes off every quarter, that's 8 minutes a game. That's a lot of minutes through a 12 and 15 year NBA career that you're missing. But
you making the game 8 minutes shorter, is that going to make you watch more games, or
the game goes by fast?
Games.
And I understand,
guess.
like sometimes if it's a blowout,
I guess so.
It's kind of boring. Like I'm not watching the fourth quarter if a team's up by 25.
Well, I mean, it's all about visibility. Everybody's competing for their market share. You could say, I mean, everybody would say that last year they capitalized on momentum, and the WNBA had higher viewership numbers than they've ever had. They were also available for you to watch in more places, I think, on streaming, or different networks were trying to carry regular season games where they wouldn't before. And I think it's kind of worked against the NBA in that sense, is that you have access to watching games any day of the week. You're not really aware of when the season starts. They have an in-season tournament. They shorten the games. They want to retool All-Star Weekend because they think that there's a less fan interest or appeal in the All-Star Weekend. There's a lot of different things that they're competing against, and I mean, the NFL is a cash cow, and it's always going to have all eyes on it because they own days of the week. Yeah. The NBA is never going to be able to overtake the NFL as far as visibility.
Well, and the NBA used to own Christmas Day games, right? Then the NFL last couple of years have been doing Christmas Day games.
And they throw that marketing,
have been blowing out the NBA ratings.
Yeah, they throw the marketing into Christmas Day games. The 2 games on Netflix. It was the first year, I'd say, and I think I told you this, is the first time in probably 5-6 years. I think I watched 2 NBA games. I usually watch them all. Yeah. I'm watching them all day long and paying attention to them. But everything in my back of my head.
First game starts at 9 and you watch till 10 o'clock at night. Yeah.
The game is in Brooklyn or New York, and then you're watching games all day long, and you're finishing in like Portland or Denver or something, but you're watching games all day long. And that wasn't the case this year because Netflix built so much marketing into us watching these 2 games. They had, 50 people involved in the 2 broadcasts. They broadcast the games, and the games weren't great, but they had people paying attention to it. And I think you kind of forgot about what they were doing.
And Netflix is definitely worldwide, so anybody could watch that. So the ratings were crazy,
Sure.
The ratings were crazy. Even if you didn't have Netflix, you're somewhere at someone's house that has Netflix, or you're using someone's account because people are together, right? Or if you didn't have family and you're at a bar, you're watching, they have it. They're playing the game. So the ratings were really good. I don't know what it is because I mean, NBA has always been like my first love when it comes to sports, and it doesn't feel like that anymore. I'm actually, I don't know. I think it's because Dodgers won, but I'm excited about the baseball season coming up. Sure. And I've never said that on this show. I don't talk about baseball on this show that much because I was not a fan of baseball. Their pitch clock, they've shortened the game, which has made the game more watchable. And I've been going to more games live, which is just fun. Like I want to go to more Dodger games and Padre games and stuff like that. I don't know. And like I said, we'll revisit this once the playoffs are getting closer. Now there is more intensity in the games, and now people have to get playoff seeding and stuff like that. But right now, it's just hard. Mm-hmm. And it's football season still, so maybe once football season's out of the way and then it's just NBA, it'll be a little more. But even watching the games, even when I sit there and watch, I'm just like, I'm not interested. There's nothing going on.
Right.
And like I said, I don't know if that's because I'm getting older and I'm just like, I've seen 40 years of NBA basketball. I've been watching basketball for a long time, so I don't know if I'm just bored of it. But like I can watch an old school game and I'm on YouTube and I'm more excited about that than
You're more
watching
engaged
an old school game.
in it, yeah.
I mean, a current live
Maybe
game.
you need to gamble more. That'll get you
you
interested
need to
in
get
it.
into gambling.
I mean, that's true, though. It would keep you interested in
You
a
should
way.
get more
but
into gambling.
Yeah.
You should get
I
into
think that's your
gambling.
problem.
Yeah.
You should lose your money.
Play video poker.
Then you'll really
I
have
don't
something
know.
to complain about.
Yeah, there you go.
Play video poker.
I don't know.
I think she meant sports betting.
Yeah.
But, yeah, just gamble. Chris Wynn said, zero chance the NBA Players Association agrees to that, the 10-minute quarters. Taking minutes away in gameplay takes away stats and contract dollars. And Chris, not only that, Adam Silver is not thinking about the commercial money because now you have a lot less commercials in the game that you're making money off of, like the TV deals and stuff like that. And they're signing new TV deals. So the TV, NBC, Prime, all these companies that just put in for this new TV deal wouldn't go for that either. Because you're taking away our advertising money when you're taking away 8 minutes a game. That's a lot. In those 8 minutes, there's probably, you're probably taking at least 5 commercial breaks out of that time every game.
And they're not going to go for that.
That's a lot of money.
No.
Yeah. So, Adam, sit down. All right, that's NBA. What else do we have? I know we had something else on the. Oh, Terry Rozier, real quick. He's under investigation for a. Let me pull up the screenshot.
Who?
And sorry, I usually have graphics. Terry Rozier is an NBA player, and he last year there was an NBA player that was basically investigated for missing shots on purpose and for betting reasons, right? He wasn't a big name player. He's a player that really doesn't get a lot of minutes anyways. But he ended up getting suspended for life from the NBA. So with that betting money you were trying to help someone make, you lost a career worth of money.
Jonte Porter.
Jonte Porter, Michael Porter Jr.'s brother.
Yeah.
Terry Rozier, who's a starter in the league for the Miami Heat, he's being investigated for around the same time frame. Let's see. For basically, there was unusual betting activity on that game, and so when that happens, you start looking at the gameplay. Like, what did they do? Did with Jonte Porter, he faked being hurt and went out of the game because somebody had bet on him to get 12 points, whatever the bet was. But with him going out of the game, it was guaranteed that they won that under bet on him. So just little things that it's like you don't think anybody would catch that. They're getting caught for that. Now, Murray, I said Porter, I think. But Murray is, like I said, not a big name player. Terry Rozier is a lot bigger name player. So if they start doing this with him, are they looking at other players too? And does he face lifetime ban too, Frank, with him being like a big player in the NBA?
If he's found to be involved in it, then they have to be swift and they have to be very clear about it. And if you can't have any blurred lines as far as players being involved in any type of illegal activity or anything worth point shaving back to college basketball that was taking place decades ago, or in the NBA, it can't happen. It can't take place. And I think another thing too
and they're
is
told. I mean,
Oh,
this is
yeah.
stuff that's talked about a lot.
when they have they have the rookie symposiums and stuff like that,
Yeah.
they talk to them about like you're going to have people approach you that are going to influence you. These are 19 and 20-year-old kids
and
that are
and
coming
they let
into
them
the
know the
league.
consequences. Like this is a
They're very clear about it, and this is something that they've got to investigate and make sure that he's cleared of wrongdoing, and hopefully it's not the case. You don't want to hear about a player being involved in anything like this because it could end up being a dangerous thing. I'm going to say too about the betting. It's become something very normal with our culture, is that people do a lot of betting in game and parlays and all those things. There's a reason why you can't do a lot of that stuff in Vegas with those DraftKings and stuff like that, is because the sports books don't want to have you betting anywhere except in the casinos. They don't want to lose out on that revenue. And this is something that's taking place all over the place. Most states have DraftKings and those things available for you. So it's something they've got to look at, and somebody's in somebody's ear about it. We can't control somebody going in and out of a casino. You can't keep track on these are adult men. You can't keep track of somebody going in and out of a casino and being influenced. So it's something they've got to take a look at, and hopefully it gets cleared for his case, because you don't want to have that over you if you didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
You want to be cooperating with everybody to make sure that you're cleared of any wrongdoing. So,
But if you did, you're messing with a lot of other people's money. So I
Absolutely.
mean, if I'm a sports bettor and I lost money off games that he was doing stuff illegally,
Right.
and doing stuff intentionally to make me lose my money, then I would feel a lot different. And that's another reason why I don't gamble and do sports betting a lot. Well, I'd never really do it at all. But it's just, that's crazy. I just can't see that. And I would be very upset. Like, I hope he's not guilty. I hope, but if he
hope not
is,
either.
I mean, you're going to lose millions of dollars, because I'm pretty sure he's due for a new contract coming up at some point in the next couple years, right? And that could be a lot of money he'd be losing being banned from the NBA. So it's not worth it. Like to the players, to young players that might make it to the NBA, like it's not worth doing that ever, because
you think about your
can't
relationship
get
with your
caught.
coaches and your teammates and everything too.
Yeah.
They're looking at you like, well, what are you doing? Like, we could have won this game, or we could have won that game. Like, what were you
Like,
doing?
Can they even trust you now?
Yeah.
And sometimes it's done to where it doesn't really cost the game.
Yeah.
Because what they're doing now, instead of like throw the game, there's so many other things you could bet on. Back in the day,
we can bet on everything.
back in the 80s and 90s, it's like you pretty much could only bet on the final score, the over-under, right? That's how it was in sports betting. Now you can bet on everything. You can bet on individual players. Well, they have over-under 12 points, over-under 9 turnovers. Like you could literally bet on almost any stat.
And if you were betting on a stat before, back then, if you were betting on a stat before on a game for a basketball game or baseball game or football game, you bet in the beginning. There's no in-game betting. There's no like,
Or
oh, well,
maybe
in
the
the third
second
quarter,
half.
I'm going to bet this
Yeah.
guy's, but you can't do that now. So you can do that now versus back then. So yeah, hopefully it's something that they can get cleared up, and that he wasn't, involved in.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that he wasn't involved in, because that's not a good thing for you to have as a reputation for your teammates and for your coaches and everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's man. What else? Did we have anything else on the?
I don't think so.
Bronny James played the other day. Who cares? LeBron
Yeah, he
James.
did.
Anthony Davis is hurt. Knicks versus Lakers.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else in sports that we're missing?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I got some pop culture there.
Oh, good.
Detroit rapper sues after Lyft driver says she won't fit in his vehicle and refuses the ride. Her name is Dank Damas, and she was denied a Lyft ride due to her size. Let's see. Let's listen to some of this. We're probably gonna get a commercial first, so I'll wait. I did Lyft and Uber for a long time, and I had a Honda Civic. The Honda Civic doesn't hold everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like there were some people where it was like, this is questionable. Like, especially when you have a big person, and then you have, Here, we can play this right now.
Jessica Unnamed is live in Detroit with this story. And my goodness, tell us how this all unfolded here, Jessica.
Well, it all unfolded on video. Deja Banlane whipped out her phone when this all happened. Now, the Lyft driver, he was kind enough and apologetic, but refused her a ride and said that she would not fit and that her weight couldn't be handled by his tires. Now she's filing a lawsuit. Have you been in cars that size before?
Yes, I have. I've been in cars smarter than that, you know.
Deja Blanding tells us she was just trying to get to a Detroit Lions watch party this month when her Lyft rolled up.
As I'm walking, I see him like making faces or whatever. I'm like, oh man.
She already knew.
I can fit in this car.
Believe me,
That looks like a Honda or
He told
Toyota,
her
like it's a small
there's not
car.
enough room in his car.
The kicker part was when he started to talk about his tires. You know, I feel like that was a slap in the face. That was like my tires, you know, like.
The driver said his tires could not handle her weight.
For every big person you turn down because they can't fit in your car?
yeah, because they need to order the Uber XL.
You know what? I don't never have to order Uber XL.
All right. So they do have bigger Lyft and Uber cars. So you can order a Uber XL, anything like that. But you also have the right to refuse, rides like that. Like I've refused people that were way too drunk. And I had a bigger person get in my car. And my car was like, it was driving very weird. Because, I mean, if you're like, she looks like she's well over 300 pounds.
No, they listed her weight. She's over 400 pounds.
That's a lot of weight in a small Toyota or.
Well, you just said the Honda Civic. Honda Civic load index. It says it can carry 888 pounds. So you're okay. He would have been all right.
It can carry that much, but then it's on like you're carrying on one side. Do you just make her sit in the middle, but then she's still in the back?
Do you make her lay down in the back seat?
Yeah, I don't know.
In the trunk? I don't know.
But she's a rapper, so she did have a performance.
I say shit.
She's twerking on.
I mean, that stage couldn't even really.
I mean, I don't
What's your
know
thoughts, Frank?
necessarily who's right or wrong, but I definitely wouldn't get on the news and tell everybody that happened.
Frank, what's wrong?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing. I'm good. Man.
What are your thoughts?
Did she? Did she put out a diss track of it? Like
A lift disc?
Yeah, a lift diss.
I don't know. We'll have
Why
to look
would
more
you
into
go
that.
to anybody and say he wouldn't pick me up? Like Mikey's saying is like I would not have.
I wouldn't have put that on the news.
I wouldn't have said.
But the fact, I mean, you're trying to sue. So you're trying to sue a big company. So the fact that she pulled out her camera right away, like I think she knew. And here's the thing: a lot of people don't want to pay extra for an Uber XL, but it's like just for your own comfort. Wouldn't you want a bigger ride than a little Honda or a little Toyota?
Yeah, a wagon.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah.
Something different.
All right. So listen, man, tune in next week. We will be here live. We appreciate everyone for tuning in. Unnamed Sports Show.
Oh my goodness.
Detroit. That's maybe why the Lions lost. Because she wasn't at the watch party.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
She needed to be on the O-line.
See you next week, folks.